Hey, hi guys, my name's Dean. I'm a healthy lifestyle advisor for Your Health, Your Way, Nottinghamshire. What we're doing today is I'm going to take you through a very short video just demonstrating some abdominal type work and some stretching that will help strengthen our core. Okay, so loads of advantages to strengthening your core. It will help us to build our posture, our balance, our coordination, help with falls that we might potentially get later in life. Right from down to improving your respiratory function and all that sort of thing. Okay, so very important that we get some type of abdominal work in our routine, and if we can follow this sort of 3 to 4 times a week, we'll really start to build some strength in that area. Okay, so what I'm going to do is talk you through the exercises, try to be inclusive of everyone, and I will show you ways that we can make this a little bit harder if we need to, okay, with some different alternatives. In terms of equipment, a mat if we have one, I've got one here, and we're going to use a very lightweight just for some of the exercises. So if you do have something to hand like a tin of food or you've got a dumbbell, again we can just make some of these exercises that little bit more difficult. Okay, so these will involve you getting down on the floor. So if that's something you don't do very easily in terms of being able to get back up, ensure that you try and find a space that you can use something to push off to get back up, okay? But the first thing we're going to do is just some warming up type exercises to help us engage, mobilise the muscles and help get them kicked in. Okay, so from a seated position on the floor then, we're just going to go for like a Russian twist type movement. Now we won't use any weight for this just yet, but we're looking at getting into a position, heels on the floor, knees slightly raised around about the toe height, and then slightly lean back. Okay, now we're just going to twist very gently, holding that pause in the middle each time, so we don't want to swing from one side to the next. And just bringing them elbows round. As you can see, we're sort of holding that twist for a second, back to the middle, and there. Okay, so sort of keep going guys, really slow. You can follow my sort of pace on this one because we're not doing anything too difficult just yet. Good, bringing that elbow around. Couple more on each side. Perfect. Just helps us to get the muscles in a little bit. So you can stay in that position guys. I'll show you sideways on for the next one. Okay, good. We're going to look at just bringing the knees in, feet off the floor slightly, okay? And then our movement is just to ease off, pull the shoulders back, and then come up nice and tall into that position there, okay? So if this is easy, I go with the heels on the floor because we're just looking at loosening off and then coming up, tighten the abs, bring those shoulders towards the knees, and ease off again, okay? We're just gonna go for a couple, but as you do this, feel the abdominals pull in nice and tight, off nice and loose. Okay, it's just our stretching exercises. Pulling up. Good. So as we do this in that upward position, we're just pulling the shoulders back so we feel a bit of a squeeze in the top of the back as well. Let's go one more. Okay, good. And loosening off from there. Okay, so give yourself a little bit of a second, guys. We're going to go, the first sort of 2 or 3 exercises, we're going to be on our back, and then we'll twist around, we'll do some exercises on your front, okay? I'm going to demonstrate each one once, and then for those that can do a little bit more, rewind the link, go back, work through it again, okay? So, what we're looking at doing first, guys, again, keep that bend in the knee, and just nice and relaxed in the shoulders. We're going to go for a crunch movement, okay? So, we're going to aim to use this part of the body, the trunk, to bring ourselves off the floor, but we're not looking at coming too high, okay? This is just a little bit of a crunch. Okay, so we're going to go over a rep range of about 10 to 15. Okay, so what I mean by that is if we get to 10 and we find that we need to ease off, relax, that's absolutely fine, but just using them extra 5 somewhere within that to get a few more reps out if we can. Okay, good. So we can bring our hands out, try not to pull up on the neck, but use it for a bit of support if we need to. Try and bring the shoulders slightly off the floor, okay? And then just a little crunch, starting from there, just up slightly, and then back down. Okay, so that would be 1. So go at your own pace, guys. We'll get around about 10 to 15 because we'll always have a bit of a pause afterwards anyway. Good, so around about 4 or 5 done. If we feel like we're going to easily get to 10, what we can look to do is bring the heels off the floor, cross them over, and this will just make it a little bit harder, okay? So there's an alternative for you if you was finding that a little bit light. Okay, now just notice I'm not dropping my head each time, I'm trying to keep the tension there, by shoulders, neck, head off the floor. Good, keeping that feet flat if we feel like we need to as well. Okay, good. Well, let's go for a few more. One more gets to 15, I think. Good, and then lower down, guys. Let that tension come away from the ab muscles. Okay, good. Okay, exercise number 2 then. Again, give yourself a little bit of time. We're working on what we call heel taps, okay? So again, we're going to come with the shoulders off the floor, this time measuring each side. It's just a little bit of a twist to get the obliques now. Somewhere towards the heel, back into that position, and back around, okay? So when you're ready, let's aim for 10 each side. If you can get closer to 15, then even better, okay? Good, as soon as you're ready, come up, and slowly round, and alternate, okay? Good, so that will count as 1 once we've done both sides, okay? Again, very, very small movement, but it's a lot of tension in that muscle, you'll feel this. Good, we're trying to keep our hips still, try and keep the lower back where it is, it's just that twist around the side, okay? We don't have to worry about coming too far around, it can just be that little bit of a touch. Good, you're probably somewhere about 8 or 9 by now. Again, a few more out if we can. Exercise number 2, this one. Gonna go for around about 6. Good, if you've finished, you can just relax that again with the shoulders down. Into that position there. Okay, good. Give yourself a couple of minutes, guys. Okay, we'll throw some stretches in after this next exercise as well, just to help. Okay, next one, reverse crunches. Again, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do this one. Okay, so first method, nice and easy. We're looking at bringing knees in towards the chest somewhere, abs nice and tight, really feel them engaged, and we can come up, and then each time just bring them heels resting onto the floor. Okay, so we'll get a couple of them, guys. Okay, so in and back, rest the heels. Our first progression on this will be to bring the legs out, but not quite drop the heels, so you can see my heels haven't touched the floor, and then bring them back again. You will feel that quite a bit more because the stomach stays tensed, okay? So again, you can maybe try 2 of one, 2 of the other if you feel you do need to briefly rest that tension. Just another method to bring in now, or for your second round, is to go a little bit more into that reverse crunch. So we're going to bring the hips just slightly off the floor, roll onto the back, and down. Okay? So go over any of them 3, guys. This is just about doing what you're happy with. If within that 10 to 15 reps we're feeling plenty around the middle, then you can go with that lighter option, that's absolutely no problem. Okay? Good, I've lost count, but if we've been going still, we're probably again around about the 10 mark, we'll get a few more out. So we can go up, heels down, we can go up without dropping the heels and return. Or last one, that reverse crunch. Okay. Good, okay, relax it there, guys, well done. Grabbing your water if you've got some. And for the next few, we're going to look to come onto our front, okay? So, give yourself the time. This is about making it continuous. We want to be resting in between each one. Okay, so we're going to throw a stretch in there, guys. So part of what we do for the core work, we're working our lower back as well. So one of the advantages I spoke about at the beginning was to really build strength in your back. So if you're someone that does suffer from back pain, this can help to alleviate that just by realigning your spine. Or it can just act as a preventative so that we're not get into that position where we have back pain. So a strong core definitely helps with your back pain. We're just going to, before we go into the next exercise, give you a stretch, okay? So onto your knees, down with the arms, okay? Palms face down, and then I'm going to sit into my heels like that, okay? So really stretch out. lengthening that body as much as you can there, pushing the bum down. Okay, and we're going to go into a plank. Now we're going to do this twice, and again I'm going to show you variations. We're going to look to make it harder as well. Okay, good. So release slowly out of that stretch, and we're going to come down onto our forearms and hold a plank. Now we're looking initially for around about 30 seconds. If a plank is something that you've done in the past, or you've got a bit of strength there in your core anyway, hold this for a bit longer, okay? Don't let me pull you out of the 30-second hold if you can get closer to a minute or beyond that, okay? So, into that position there, and holding a nice diagonal line between our shoulders, our hips, and our ankles, we're just gonna hold that, okay? So after 30 seconds, I'm gonna put it out. Well, feel free to pause the link now and hold this for a bit longer. We're gonna do this twice through. Just making sure you're engaging that core. Really good for all the way around. This is your stomach, your obliques, your lower back. Good, so I'm going to go around about 10 minutes. I haven't got the exact time, but we should start to feel there's a little bit of shaking around the middle. Feeling like we do need to fall out of it, okay? So don't come out of it until we start to feel that really, okay? Good. There's shoulders above your elbows. Okay, good. And then when you're ready, we're just going to drop the knees. We're going to go back into that stretch. Nice and long, reach out in front, push the hips down, head down. So we're going to go into another plank. About 5 more seconds. Okay, good, straight in, so forearms down, there to there. Okay, so for anyone that's quite good at planks, or you're reusing this link and you're getting stronger and stronger, there's a couple of different things you can do to make this harder, okay? Such as swinging the hips, so bring the hips slightly down, back to the middle, so we're really working them core muscles now. Okay, that's one. Another one we can do is look to bring the knees up, so nice and slow. Back into that plank, there to there. Or probably the hardest one of all is if we can come up onto that hand there. Every 3 to 5 seconds maybe, dropping that down. Okay, so just a couple of different ways to progress it if you want to, but we'll just hold that a little bit longer in that standard plank position. Let's go another 10 seconds. Good. And when you feel ready, guys, slowly out of that one, okay? Good, okay, couple more. We're gonna work on one that helps to, again, do your core and your lower back, but also targets your glutes as well on this one, okay? So, into a position where we are on our hands and knees next, okay? So, whenever you feel you're ready, like I say, have your drink. If you're holding that plank for a little bit longer, fantastic. Pause the video, do this to what you're capable of, okay? For our next exercise, we're gonna look at alternative arm to leg raise, okay? So we're looking at that where I bring my right arm up, that parallel to the floor, and at the same time we're extending that leg to the point, again, parallel, just opening up your glutes as well, okay? And then down, and we can alternate. So again, if we go for about 10 to 15 on each side, it's fantastic, okay? But again, we'll just hold that for a couple of seconds, chin up, look forward, down, and up. Okay, so whilst you're doing that, guys, again, the way we can make this a little bit harder is to stick on one side and do all your 10 to 15 reps and then go on to the other side. And what this allows us to do is, if you can see, I'll go this side, as we bring the arm up, we bring it in, and we don't get that bit of relaxation, we don't drop the knee, and then we're slowly up and down, okay? So you'll feel that a little bit more, your muscles under tension for longer. Really having to use that middle part to help you balance. Okay, so go all on one side. As we come up there, you're feeling the stretch. Take that wrist away, push the heel back. Okay, so if we are doing it this way, switch over when you're doing your 10 to 15. Good, so just cross the elbow and the knee slightly. Nearly there. This is what maybe, guys, where the weight can come in as well. So you're going to be doing a second round of this. What we can look to do if we're doing all on the same side, just bring that weight up as well, and down, and then switch it up. Okay, good, 10 to 15 each side. Again, into another stretch, guys, this time with your hands down. Okay, we're looking at dropping the body, hands down by your side now. Best we can, we're keeping our hips down on the floor. We're pushing up into like a Sphinx position, okay? So straighten the arms if we can, push the hips down and hold that. And that will just stretch out. Where we should feel this is right in the lower back. Okay, not to the point where it feels uncomfortable, but there's just a little bit of a pull there. Again, if we raise the chin. Okay, good. Hold it for a few seconds, slowly down. We're gonna repeat that last exercise then, guys. So hands and knees, okay? Good. Let's try it with that weight if it is something that's easy to hold on to. Okay, there and down. Looking forward. Okay, good. Remember, if we're not going all on one side, we just come up, hold it for maybe a little bit longer, down, and then switch. So we're relaxing each time before we swap over. Okay, good. Okay, keep going until we get that 10 to 15 again. And a good way to determine whether or not you're working at the right intensity is if you're easily doing 15, we've hit the top of that rep range, so we can maybe look to go with one of the alternatives, okay? If we make it harder and then we're only getting around about 9, 10, 11, that's fine, we're still testing the abdominals that little bit harder, okay? So we'll all be different levels. Get my last couple out. Perfect. Good, and we'll just go into that stretch one more time then when we're ready, guys, okay? So bring the chest to the floor to start with, and then you're literally peeling the chest off the floor. Look up, and we'll hold that for around about 10 to 20 seconds. That little pull again. One more abdominal exercise to go then, guys. That'll be round one complete. Good, that bend of the arms again, slowly roll. Core of the chest back onto the mat. And slowly up. Okay, good. So one more again, this is where your weight might come in useful. We're going to go for our Russian twist movement. So if you think to our warm up at the start when we're doing that little bit of a twist, we're going to turn that into one of our main exercises. Make it a little bit different. Okay, now if you can go without any weight, just hold your elbows down, hands somewhere around the chest, you can make the ball. I'm going to show you how to use it with that tin that you might have grabbed at the beginning, okay, or dumbbell. So, elbows in, you can rest your heels on the floor, and we look at dropping the end of the dumbbell, tin, whatever you've got for a weight, down towards the floor and back up, okay? Now really slow on this one, keep the lower back nice and loose, and if we start to bring this further away, you'll feel that a little bit more, okay? Alternatively, going with the feet off the floor, okay? So we're going to lean back a little bit more, in towards the chest, twist that way. So my abdominals are working just from holding that position, and then you're getting the twist in as well, really advanced way of doing it. Okay, good. Same rep rate. Okay, good, remember, feet down's absolutely fine, that's slightly back. But once we feel like we're somewhere near our 10 to 15 reps, okay, good. Round one over then, guys. So ideally we want to be looking to do that twice through. So remember what we did when we went back to the beginning. Don't worry about the warm-up where we did the twists, etc., but maybe rewind the link, go through this for a second time, and for those that feel they can, if you feel at the end of that you can do another round, go for a third round, okay? But that just shows you guys we only need to be taking around about 10 minutes out of our day just to work on our core and get the benefits from that, Okay, so good work guys. Remember we started back with the crunch, you can start from there, and then there was around about 8 or 9 to go through. Okay, well done guys, thank you very much.